I'm Laura Davis from Pocomoke City, Maryland, here at WBOC's Historic Studio D. You're watching Delmarva Life.
Wow, that salad is good.
It's delicious, and you're not getting all of it.
Warren,
could you grab that real quick? Just set it aside now. Take care of you later. It has been described as one of Western Sussex County's best kept secrets. It is the Ross Mansion and Plantation in Seaford.
The house and property hold a lot of history, especially because it once belonged to a former Delaware governor. Brian Spiros visited the home, which is unique in its own right.
For more than 150 years, the Ross Mansion has stood proudly just north of downtown Seaford and was once home to a prominent family in Delaware. Margaret Alexander is the mansion manager and knows pretty much everything there is to know about the property, including the man who once called this house home.
William Henry Harrison Ross. That's a big name, but they took the Southern tradition of naming their children after heroes. William Henry Harrison had won a battle in the War of 1812, and the governor was born in 1814.
Ross served as governor of Delaware from 1851 to 1855.
I think during the time that he actually was serving as governor, he was well liked. And one of his accomplishments was help bring the railroad from Dover down to Seaford.
After his time in office, he built this 5,400 square foot Victorian home where he lived with his wife and 10 children.
Well, it's very unusual. It's an Italian villa, and we don't have too many of those in southern Delaware. It's the architectural style. We don't know why he chose that particular style of house. We know that he was a well-read person. He could have used a house plan book like some of us use today to plan a new house. And we do know that one of his running mates on a ticket was an architect, so he could have been influenced by him. Also, as a wealthy young man, he traveled in England, and the architectural style went from Italy to England before it came to America, so maybe he was influenced by that.
The layout of the house and the decor shows the prominent place the Ross family once held in society. From the foyer to the dining room, even Governor Ross's office.
So there are two parlors in the house, which we would know today as living rooms. What was this one used for?
This was the family parlor. During the day, the ladies that came calling would come here and do their sewing, and the family would use this like we'd use a family room after the evening meal. And we have a picture of Governor Ross up here, and on the opposite wall we have a picture of his wife done by a schoolgirl.
Going through the home, you'll also notice there's no kitchen. The original kitchen sat separate from the rest of the house and is now the gift shop.
Fire was a real big hazard at that point, so they didn't want the kitchen real close to the house. And we have a hyphen, which is a small passageway that has brick walls and brick floor, because they thought if anything was going to catch on fire, it would be the kitchen, and that would give them time to save some of the furnishings of the house.
All right, Margaret, so tell us what this room is here, what it was used for.
This is the governor's suite, and we're in the bedroom portion. There are two other rooms off from this room. One would be a dressing room, and the other was a morning room or a writing room where they would write letters, since they didn't have telephones at this period of time.
At one point, Governor Ross had 14 slaves working on his vast property, which also housed a stable, granary, and corn cribs.
The Historical Society presently owns 20 acres, but the governor's original plantation was 1,398 acres. Everything you can see from horizon to horizon he owned.
During the Civil War, Delaware was considered a border state. Half supported the South, while the other half supported the North.
Governor Ross was a Southern supporter. Of course, that didn't make him a favorite fan of President Lincoln, who sends federal troops to Sussex County to arrest the ones that are supporting the South. And according to the family tale, Governor Ross, they pack him in an apple barrel and put him on the train to go north to get a boat to England. He does spend the last 2 years of the Civil War in England, but comes back after the war's over.
Governor Ross passed away in 1887 at the age of 73. He's buried in the St. Luke churchyard in Seaford. As for the mansion, after Ross's death, it changed hands.
Well, his family owned the property until the 20th century, and in the 1920s they go bankrupt, so the house and the contents are sold at public auction. And then we had one more family that lived from the 20s all the way till E.C. Davis's death in 1959. And then it's sort of like no man's land after that. The bank was administering his will. Sometimes they had renters and sometimes they didn't.
In 1976, the Seaford Historical Society bought the property and restored some of the inside to what you see today. A home that was once private is now public. And walking through the rooms and corridors, you can't help but fall back in time and marvel at what came before us.
The Ross Mansion is open for tours on the weekends from 1 to 4 in the afternoon or by appointment. Also, there's an interesting story that involves one of Governor Ross's daughters, a diamond ring, and a bedroom window. Be sure to ask about that when taking the tour.
The daughter, the diamond ring,
And the window.
and the window. Still to come on Delmarva Life, we have all heard the saying, worth its weight in gold, but do you know what gold is actually worth? We're going to get the answer for that from a metal expert next.
But first, the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus Fully Charged rolls into town tomorrow at the Wicomico Youth and Civic Center in Salisbury. We've been giving away tickets for the past several days. We'll announce our final winners in just a moment, but there's still time to purchase tickets to see the show. Just call 410-548-4911.
That talk just made me dizzy. Congratulations to our final winners, Mary Wilson from Laurel in Sussex County and Suzanne Holloway from Pittsfield in Wicomico County. You guys go out and be kids again and enjoy the show.